Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. After reciting the verses, Huzur said that the translation of these verses is that the people want that they should extinguish the light of Allah with their breath of the mount, and Allah Almighty refuses that. However, these non-believers may dislike it. He is the one who has sent the messenger with his guidance so that he make it prevalent over all religions. However, the non-believers dislike it. Huzur says that these are those verses which are quite clear, and they make the announcement very clearly for those people that Islam is the religion which with its beautiful teaching is destined to spread all over the world. This is the light of Allah, and the light of Allah, the human efforts cannot extinguish that. The Holy Quran is the book of Sharia which can bestow the guidance upon the mankind, whole mankind, and apart from that there is no other Sharia, no other book which can guidance to the mankind and give them the means of that. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ is the seal of the Prophet, the best of all the prophets, and now after that there is no law-bearing prophet who can make his advent after that. Yes, according to this statement of Allah, that Allah Almighty is going to make this religion prevalent over all other religions. And in the new age, in the period to come, in order to complete the propagation of this message of guidance, that guidance which the Holy Prophet ﷺ, it was completed upon him through his servant in his servitude. Allah Almighty is going to do its prevalence and give the status of subordinate and follower prophet to the promised Messiah. Allah Almighty is going to fulfill this promise. So this promise and this declaration of Allah Almighty, in order to fulfill that, He sent Hadhrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani alayhi salatu wasalam, made him the promised Messiah and the Imam Mahdi, who he presented the beautiful teaching of Islam in front of the people, and from one end to the other end of the world he spread the message and spread the message. And during his lifetime the message was in America and also in Europe, and he established that community which under the supervision of the system of caliphate is continuing this project. Hadhrat promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, with reference to these verses, in one place replying to the allegation of the non-Muslims, he says that these people, they wish through the foul speeches of their mouth, they like that this religion should never be successful, and they say that this religion is not going to be successful, rather it is going to be destroyed with our hands. He said that no, but Allah Almighty is not going to let this religion be frustrated, and Allah Almighty will not leave this unless it becomes prevalent. And when the Holy Quran is there and the Hufaz who are there, there are many Hufaz, those who have memorized the whole text of the Quran by heart, there are so many. So how the opponents, they declared that this religion is going to exterminated, and we are going to, and they say that they made the prophecy, and as opposed to their saying, Allah Almighty make the promise, and that this religion is not going to be destroyed. It is going to grow like a big tree, and there will be some followers. Among them there will be some kings. And when this was the state of weakness, at that time this was said. This promise of Allah Almighty was fulfilled, and the religion of Islam spread, and no effort could stop its progress. And he said, the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, speaking to the opponents of Islam, he said that you cannot finish the religion of Islam today. This is an open challenge. And he told the world that for the revival of the religion of Islam, Allah Almighty has now established me and sent me in servitude and subordination of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And now with the knowledge and the support of Allah Almighty, now I am going to spread this beautiful teaching of Islam all over the world. Allah Almighty Himself said that Allah Almighty helping me is, He said that I'm going to cause this message, your message to reach the corners of the earth. And then He says, and the promised Messiah said, also said that through me, Allah the Almighty, the community which He has established through me, that community will go raising and holding my standard and banner to all parts of the world. And through this beautiful teaching, they are going to win the hearts of the people, not through gun or sword. And the right-minded people, they would be, and these people will brought under the standard and the banner of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And he also told the Muslims, all the Muslims, that listen to the message of the Holy Prophet of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam and try to understand it. And the Messiah, the Mahdi, who was destined to come, so you increase in your faith, and then you see that all the promises of Allah Almighty given related to you, how they are going to be fulfilled, all of it. Allah Almighty is going to grant you a good new glory, but the majority of the Muslims, under the influence of the mullahs, they are not paying attention to this. The effort of the mullahs is that the one who has been sent by God Almighty, and the one who is this servant and follower of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he should be frustrated and defeated. But by the grace of Allah, this after every wave of opposition, it is spreading far and wide. And as I said, that the right-minded people, the pious-natured people, Allah Almighty is bringing these right people under the shade of Islam. And He said, Allah Almighty has also revealed to me He said that this promise was given to me at a time that immediately I wrote it in Brahim Ahmadiyya, when there was not in my remote imagination that Allah Almighty is going to establish me and declare me as the promised Messiah and Imam Mahdi. And I previously mentioned briefly what he said, and then the wording is that, look, how great and magnificent is this prophecy, which from the very beginning, most of the ulama, they have been saying all the time that this is in relation to the promised Messiah. This verse which have been recited, they are recorded according to the promised Messiah, and it will be fulfilled at the time of the advent of the promised Messiah. And so that religion of Islam should become prevalent over all other religions. He says, for 17 years ago, from the time when he first mentioned that, at that time 17 years had completed, or when he published it, and this is well before the claim of being the promised Messiah, and it is there for last 17 years, and much earlier, much before then the claim of being the promised Messiah, so that the Allah Almighty should put to shame all the people, those who consider my claim to be the fabrication of man. The Brahim Ahmadiyya is a witness that at that time, even at that time, I did not have my remote thought of being the promised Messiah, and I continue to believe in the previous view. But then Allah Almighty said that you are the promised Messiah, that all that what has been mentioned in the traditions of the Holy Prophet, which was mentioned related to the promised Messiah, that has been fulfilled now. So he said that now Allah Almighty has sent me as the promised Messiah, and now this is the light of Allah which I have been bestowed as a result of the servitude to the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And this cannot be extinguished now, nor with all the efforts of the opponents. He said in one place that these breaths of the mouth, what is it? And somebody may say that it's a robber, thief, a disbeliever, and without any religion. All these people, they think that they wish that they should extinguish the light of Allah Almighty. He said that in the effort of extinguishing the light of Allah, they are burnt themselves and put to disgrace. And he said, Allah Almighty has told me this in Revelation, that yuriduna an yutfi'u nur Allah an yatakhatafu inni ma'aka wa ma ahlika. That the enemies, they will try to extinguish and finish your light, and they want to disgrace you, but I am with you and with your family. So despite all the waves of opposition, and the Muslim ulama and the states and the governments and whatever the opposition was there at that time, Allah Almighty, and also from the other religions and foreign powers, Allah Almighty, through the promised Messiah ﷺ, is causing this light of God spreading in the world. And millions of people all over the world, despite all the opposition and despite all the tricks of the ulama, the community of the promised Messiah ﷺ, these people are joining in that. And they are joining the community, and for the sake of belief in the promised Messiah, and to strengthen their faith, Allah Almighty is causing such incidents happen which strengthen their faith. And then the firm conviction and belief in the promise of Allah Almighty is strengthened. Huzur says, I just present some of the examples of this year. From Ghana, a missionary writes, Bilal Sahib says that in upper region, Zoga, in a village, there was 3 missionaries who went for preaching, and the place where they were, the accommodation was arranged, and there was an old lady, Horzole was an old lady with that name, Evin Orzole. She became very happy at the arrival of these 3 missionaries, and she said that 7 years ago I had seen a dream that 3 people who have come to teach religion, they have come to my house, and I am offering them the water. And these Mollim, the teachers, then they gather the children of the village and give them the religious teaching and lead them in prayer. So all these things, she says that exactly they happened as these were shown to that old lady. These Mollimin, the teachers, they gathered the children of the village and gave them the Islamic teaching, taught them and led the prayer. So after looking at that, so this old lady and his family members, 92 of them altogether, immediately they joined the community. And here, and now the Jamaat has firmly established in that village in a short while. Now is it a doing of a man that 7 years ago, in a remote part of Africa, a lady who was not Muslim at that time, Allah Almighty shows a dream, and then after 7 years, that dream is fulfilled just as it was shown, and then Allah Almighty puts in the heart of this 92 people of that village that the blessing that Allah Almighty has given you, you accept, and they do accept that. And then in Benin, in region Lukasa, the Mollam says that we went into a village for preaching, and some Muslims started calling abuses to us, and regarding the promised Messiah ﷺ, they used foul language, as the promised Messiah would say various nasty words about him. So So these people also started using that language against us. So we went back. He said that we went back and we offered the prayer on the way, and we prayed that, oh Allah, today we have come out to convey the message of your Messiah. So please do not let us go frustrated. And as soon as we finished the prayer, there was somebody standing for us, waiting for us. We introduced ourselves, and he said, my village is nearby. Can you kindly go to that village? So we went to his village, and he gathered quite a few people of the village, to whom we conveyed the message of the promised Messiah. So as a result of this tabligh, on that day, Maulam Sahib says 65 people joined the community on that day, and in this way the Jamaat was established in that village, just as the promised Messiah ﷺ told well before that these people give me abuses, but is it possible that the light of God can finish with abuses? If you get abuses from one place, then in the other place where these people did not have any plan and not in imagination, they would be going there, but a person from there comes, and Allah Almighty sends him that these are good-natured people, so you go, and these people who have come to convey the message, so you bring those people and listen to that message and accept that. And then there is another example, how Allah Almighty, after the temporary disappointment of the preachers, then in a short while Allah Almighty accepts their prayer and gives them the reward and the blessing of that. One Burkina Faso region, Bogo, Skandar Sahib, in charge of that region, he says that we preached in one village, but there was no result. When I was going there, I said to some people that when you come there, then you do come to my house. And somebody, Hassan, a person with the name of Hassan, he came, and I opened up the television, and MTA was on. And when there was a program when he saw me, and he said that I have already seen this person in my dream. So immediately, then and there, he joined the Ahmadiyya community. And then he went back to his village and told the villagers, and many people in that village, they also accepted. Now a very strong community has been established there by the there. Then the library missionary in charge from there, he says that in one county, Nongo, we tried to establish the community there, but because of the opposition of the mullah, our efforts were not successful. Every time whenever they went, mullahs, as they are the habit, they come and use the foul language. And some time ago he says that Muhammad Al-Farid, a person from there, we happened to meet him. He was a teacher in government school, and he has got some education from Damascus, and he lives with his family in that village. We told them in detail about the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and the beliefs and the doctrines of the Jamaat was explained. And he attended some of the meetings of the Jamaat, and by the grace of Allah, Allah Almighty turned his heart towards Ahmadiyyat, and he himself conveyed the message of Ahmadiyyat and started preaching the message. So Allah Almighty blessed his efforts, and as a result of that, 50 people, they accepted Ahmadiyyat in that village, and a new Jamaat was established there. Normally, the people who go and study for Arabian countries, and they are just normally very proud of their knowledge and learning, and there are very few people who are very pious nature, and they listen to when something is told to them. But Allah Almighty must have liked something in him, that Allah Almighty guided him to the right path. Then through the dreams, describing the one incident that from the missionary relates one incident that we went into a village for preaching, and we didn't know anybody there, just one person whose name was Amber, and we asked that where is the house of chief, and when we went there, we found that as if he was waiting for our coming. He was not Muslim, but he was waiting for the Muslim, so he took us to the chief, and we asked that the chief to permission to stay for 3 days and to preach. And at that, that person told that he said that this chief has arranged for the accommodation. For the next 2 days there was heavy rain, and we could not hold any tabligh program. And after 2 days, when we did the preaching, then Amba Sahib said that he is ready to accept Islam, and he did the Bai'at. And then he related some of the dreams. He said that in 1999, I have seen the dream that he is in a large assembly of Muslims and he is offering prayer along with them. And in another dream, he saw him offering the prayer in the mosque. And after the prayer, Hadhrat Isa alayhi salam came, and Amba, he put his hand on him, and he saw that Hadhrat Isa alayhi salam is climbing on the mountain, and he is also climbing along with him. So then I said that the interpretation of this dream, that the second advent of the Messiah has taken place, and this is an indication towards his birth. And by believing you will be able to get established on the true Islam. And in Ghana, I said that every year in Ghana there is a big gathering of the Muslims which takes place, Jalsa Salana, and he was very happy. And he said that for some time I was very confused, and when I saw your message, and then I thought that all my prayers are going to be fulfilled. And he went to the chief of the village. He also accepted Islam. So then by your coming, Allah Almighty gave this heavy rain, which is the rain of blessing. So that means that Allah's help is there. And all these people, 18 people, they accepted, and a new community was established there. And now their tarbiyat is being done. Then the acceptance of Islam, Ahmadiyya through the dream. From Mali, there is an example, is Kasa region. Bilal Sahib is the missionary. He says that once a young man came to our mission, and he said that I want to do the Bai'at. So we asked the reason for that, and he said that my brother is Ahmadi for the last 2 years, and he has put the picture of Massih alayhi salam in the house, and I listened to your radio, and I like its programs. I consider you in the truth, but still I never thought of doing the Bai'at. But last night I saw in the dream, I saw the Holy Prophet ﷺ along with all the 4 prophets. I saw in a very open valley the Holy Prophet ﷺ. He asked all the people to perform the wuzu, and when all the people did and came, and then a very beautiful saintly person came in and sat with the Holy Prophet ﷺ. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, addressing the whole crowd, said that this is Imam Mahdi, and all the people should do his Bai'at. And this is the same saintly person whose picture my brother has put into the house. And then he understood that Bai'at is very essential, and I have come to do the Bai'at. In Guinea-Bissau, there is another country in the Guinea. Missionary in charge writes from Guinea-Bissau that Kiku Jumaat Hussain Jadu Sahib mentioned that when he accepted Ahmadiyyat, then he told his wife that I have accepted Ahmadiyyat, and I also advise you that this prophecy about the coming of Imam Mahdi, which was made by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he has come. And today I have done the Bai'at and I have accepted. And I also advise you to do the Bai'at. And the wife opposed strongly. And she said that Ahmadis are kafir, non-believers. And this is what the mullahs have told all the people. It is not only the Pakistan or India or other country, wherever the Muslims are there, these non-Ahmadi mullahs, they do try to reach there, and from the Arabs, and they always declare the Ahmadis as kafir, non-believer. Either you leave the Ahmadiyyat or you leave me. Anyway, he said that I am not going to leave Ahmadiyyat. Anyway, so she went to the house of her parents, and Jalsa Sahib says that I started praying for my wife, that, oh my Allah, just as you have enabled me to come to the right path, so enable my wife as well to follow the same path. Continuously for 5 years I continued praying Allah Almighty, and I was never disappointed from the blessing. This was his steadfastness. After 5 years, my wife telephoned me and to say that I seek your pardon and I seek forgiveness from Allah Almighty. Jalsa Sahib says, surprising that what happened? Why this big change? The wife said that I have seen in the dream tonight and I realized that I was wrong and you were right. The wife said that I saw in the dream that I am standing on the other side of the river in a beautiful place, and from where the light is coming up, and people are crossing the river in large number and accepting that and going there. So I thought that I should also go and cross there. So there was somebody standing on the river bank, and he said that that place is only for the Ahmadis who have accepted Imam Mahdi. At that time, I replied that my husband is Ahmadi, but he replied that not because that your husband is Ahmadi, you can go there. So at that point I woke up and I was crying and weeping at that time. I realized that Ahmadiyyat is the true Islam, and therefore I want to do the Bai'at and join the community. So, and this thing indicates that he left his wife for the sake of religion, and not only this much, and that was the end of the matter. There was kindness for the wife and for the humanity, and steadfastness was there, so he prayed for his wife. As I said, continuously for 5 years he continued to pray, and after 5 years, when Allah Almighty tested his steadfastness, and after 5 years the prayer was accepted, and this sign was also manifested. And then here the promised Messiah ﷺ, the light of the promised Messiah was seen. So you cannot extinguish that. The light is there everywhere, and nobody can extinguish that. And similarly, in one place, Amir Sahib Ghana says, mentioning his efforts in the northern region, Yandi, from 12 kilometers away, there is a village, Panjamba. The team went there for preaching for 4 days, and by the grace of Allah, the chief of the village and the Imam, 554 people accepted Ahmadiyyat. One person, Hussain Sahib, after listening to the preaching, he said that some time ago I saw the dream that some people are dragging me to hell, and suddenly some people came and they released me from their clutches, and they put me on the right path, and they took me towards heaven. So he thinks that after listening to your tabligh today, and by listening to the message of the promised Messiah, now I have understood the reality of this dream. And then he did Bai'at, and for all the time our team stayed there. He was very cooperative and helping the people. And when the team went to the next village, again he went there and to help there, and he is showing his dedication. Allah Almighty is helping all the people in Africa. From Bosnia, a missionary, he writes, Al-Widin, regarding the Bai'at of Al-Widin, that and he was before doing the Bai'at, he was living a Western type of life of freedom, and then after that he saw the dream and started improving the quality of Islam. There were some physical ailments he suffered, and people laughed at him and mocked at him because of that. But there was a time that he was very close to the stage where he could have suffered mentally, and then he did the Bai'at and started praying. And one day during the sajda, he heard the voice as if an angel is saying to Satan that you stop there, now you leave it. And on that the Satan replied that there is one more trial to come for him. So this type of spiritual experience was very much surprising for me. And after that there was a trial, and still he was very confident that Allah Almighty is going to make the arrangement for his guidance. So he thought there was a trial, but he thought this is going to be the last one. And after some time he got the message about Ahmadiyyat. He recalled his spiritual experience, and after some tabligh sitting, he did the bath and joined the community. From Jordan, Ahmad Sahib is another person. He said that in my effort of knowing the reality, so I read an article in the Jal on internet. So I read the article which I liked. So I started investigating about Ahmadi. The article was written by an Ahmadi. So when I read the books, so then the signs of the truth of the promised Messiah started appearing in my mind. But the question was that what to do about these faith and beliefs which we have received from ancestors, from our parents, and the mullahs say and other people say, and various stories are there very commonly. So should I believe in this Imam whose truthfulness has become manifest, and the Holy Prophet ﷺ has made the will for the Muslims to accept him, or I should just blindly follow these mullah and those people who those doctrines which are derogatory to Islam, I should continue with that. So that was the dilemma. So in reply to this question, there was no other way open for me that I should turn to God Almighty, who is the knower of unseen. And few days after that, Allah Almighty showed me a very extraordinary prayer I saw in the dream. Surah Nisa, this verse was written in bold letters. وَقَوْلِهِمْ إِنَّا قَتَلْنَا الْمَسِيحَ عِيسَى ابْنَ مَرْيَمَ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُمْ وَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ اخْتَلَفُوا فِيهِ لَفِي شَكٍّ مِنْهُ مَا لَهُمْ بِهِ مِنْ عِلْمٍ إِلَّا اتَّبَعَ الظَّنَّ وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ يَقِينًا. So he says that the last part of the verse, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ يَقِينًا, that appeared to me very brilliant, very bright and very clear. He says, he said that I had understood the subject of the death of Isa from MTA. I have well understood, but still I was thinking about that once the Liqam al-Arab program was there, Hadhrat Khalifatul Massih Rahimahullah, he was explaining the detail of this very verse, that how this coincidence take place, that the same verse which I have seen in the dream, and there was a desire for me to know the commentary of that. The commentary of the same verse was available on MTA. So it was not a coincidence, but this was a means of my guidance and looking at the truth of this. So then I thought that perhaps I need some more signs. And then I thought that I should do the istikhara as the promised Messiah ﷺ is mentioned. So I opened up the book Itmamul Hujjah and found out the way how to do the istikhara. And I saw somebody who was standing on the rooftop and saying Fajr Azan. And after the Azan he said, Hayya ala Ahmadiyya, Hayya ala Ahmadiyya, that come to Ahmadiyyat, come to Ahmadiyyat. The Muazzin also said something else which I forgot. But the thing is that when I got up, then the Muazzin was very clearly saying the Azan, and after this experience I decided to do the bath. And then we see that the non-Ahmadi mullahs, these non-Ahmadi mullahs, how they try to divert away the attentions of the people from Ahmadiyyat in Benin, in a village, Agilu. One Ahmadi Ladeno with the name, he says that along with 25 people of my family I joined the Ahmadiyyat, and after becoming Ahmadi, the non-Ahmadi mullah, a group who had got the education from Saudi Arabia, they came to us and they said that the Ahmadis are kafir and they are misleading you. So we have learnt this, the real Islam from Saudi Arabia. So don't be deceived by these people. So I asked several questions from him that how a Muslim offers the prayer, and what is the difference between the Quran of Ahmadis and the non-Ahmadis. At that time I said that this is what is the Islam of the Ahmadis, and when Ahmadis did the tabligh, then they did not rebuke any other religion, but the style of your people tells me that you are telling lies, so therefore you go away. And this is the allegation against the Ahmadis, that you also say something bad about our mullahs. Rather, the thing is that we have not mentioned those things, but yes, certainly those people who abuse us, then we just do tell that all these things will turn back on you, just according to the saying of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And for several years the delegations used to come and mislead us, but Allah Almighty did not waste away our faith. And in the house, in a small room in the house, we made it a prayer room, and after that, and Allah Almighty enabled other people to join, and now by the grace of Allah we have been enabled to build a mosque there. Then from Tanzania, the regional missionary from their rights from Monza, one is in West Africa and one is the East Africa. There are thousands of miles apart, but the situation is same. He said in one area, Shianga, the mosque was built, and last year some families they did the bath, but for the tarbiyat there was no center. And old born Ahmadi Yusuf Sahib Madlika, he gave a part of his land for the building of the mosque, and for the construction of the mosque he provided the bricks, and we started building the mosque, and a Mullim was also sent there. And when the construction of the mosque was there, then people were told that the Jamaat Ahmadiyya is building this mosque. And first we thought that people will oppose and they will not come for prayer, but our view was wrong. And there were so many people, non-Ahmadis, they were ready to come to the Jamaat, and they started questioning about the Ahmadiyya Jamaat, asking several questions. And in the month of Ramadan there was Bai'at, and the Jamaat number increased. And first we thought that after the building of the mosque the opposition will be strong, but the mosque actually opened the way of tabligh, and many people have joined the community as a result of that. Allah the Almighty, how He guides the people, there are so many examples of that. In Nigeria, Metabon is a missionary from their rights, that a few years ago we went to a house for tabligh, and these people turned away very bluntly, and we went there for after many years, when we thought that perhaps it will happen again. Anyway we went there. So when we went there, then the lady, instead of turning us away, she said that give me the 6 bath forms, and the whole family is going to do the bath. And she said that I had gone away, and when I was on the way I heard the voice that some people are coming to your house for tabligh, so you listen, this will be good for your family. And when I reached my home, then you are already there. So the whole family, they did the bath immediately and joined the community, and they become very active Ahmadi. Now Tataristan, the old this is a state in old Russia. 380 kilometers from Kazan is a small town. Through one Ahmadi family, and somebody got the message and he started helping, and they asked the people to when the people went there to preach, and they were introduced to Ahmadiyyat in detail, and he was told about the condition of the bath, And he said that I recite these 10 verses every day. And he said I have inscribed these 10 conditions on a wood plate, and I read it. He is not yet Ahmadi, but he has put these 10 conditions on the door. And every day in the morning I read that, and I ask myself that which is the condition I am not acting upon. So this is the condition before doing the bath. And after that he joined the community later on, and he wrote a letter to me as well, that living in this so-called Muslims, I did not understand their message, and nor the true message of worship was clear to me, and these things could destroy me. But Alhamdulillah, all praise to Allah, that Allah Almighty saved me from going to misguidance, and guided me to the truth. And the teaching of Islam was very clearly mentioned, and the Jamaat's slogan, love for all, hatred for none, I liked it very much. There are many examples, happenings like that, where they become the means of guidance. Muhammad Ahmad Ashraf from Switzerland, he writes that a Turkish person and a scholar, Musa Sahib, he got introduced to Ahmadiyya through MTA, and now there are live transmission in Turkish. He happens to see that. And last month, during my visit there in Turkey, he says that and as a result of this Tabligh, 27-year-old, his nephew, he did the bath, and he has offered himself for the dedication of life. So this scholar and his companion, they used to believe in these things, and they have been reading the Jamaat literature and watching MTA, but they were not doing bath. So finally a time came when Allah Almighty opened up their hearts, and Musa Sahib, through Ramzan Sahib and Haji, another person, Haji, they did the bath, and now 23 is the total number of the people who did the bath, 2 families. And they have written a letter to me in which very devotedly they have mentioned. So they are very pious natured. There is no shortage of pious minded, right-minded scholars, and Allah Almighty continues to guide them to the right path. Those people who have the fear of God in their heart. Then Mirza of France writes that during the literature distribution, a Muslim, when he read our pamphlet, he said that I was waiting for you for a long time, and this message of Islam is very much needed. For many years I am in France, and my family is in Ivory Coast, and regularly they go to your center, and we are very much interested in your community. So he was in YouTube, the Jamaat's program, he started watching that, and he got the information about the Jamaat for 2 years, and finally he did the bath and joined the community. So Ivory Coast, the community is very active. So Allah Almighty provided the source of guidance in France. And then non-Muslims as well. Sometimes they are very much influenced, the non-Muslims. The light of Allah Almighty illuminates their hearts. So then mentioning regarding the bath of one person from Benin, Alada region, the missionary says that in southeast there is Isa side, there is a person who was given some pamphlet. He started listening to the radio, and he said, after listening to this leaflet, I was interested. By birth I am a Christian, but whenever I used to go to church, Bible, the Christian, the explanation which he gave the priest, I was not satisfied. But since I have started the program on radio, so you quote the Bible and you give the explanation, which is very logical. So he, as a result of that, he did the Bai'at. The Muslims are waiting some time that somebody should come from the Jamaat and do the Bai'at. Now through the radio and TV, the TV, and particularly in Africa, by the grace of Allah, it is being done. Since the start of MTA, Africa, and radio is also there in various countries. Benin, from the missionary from there, he writes that we went to a village far away, and for preaching we went there. And when we preached, that somebody stood up and he said that we have been listening to these programs for a long time, and we are well aware of the teachings of the views of the Ahmadiyya, and we were waiting for some representative come to our village and tell us about the Ahmadiyyat. So 125 people, they did the Bai'at and joined the community.
बुर्किना फासो से बाफोरा रीजन के लोकल मुबल्लिग हैं.
Another missionary, a local missionary, he sent that we went for preaching there, and somebody said that I listened to all your programs on the radio. I have got 2 radio sets. In one village there is no electricity, so one is put on charge and the other I program so that I cannot miss any program. So he has kept 2 radios. So he said Ahmadiyyat is a light, and whether other people benefit from it or not, but the victory is for Ahmadis. And today I do the Bai'at and join in the community, and I tell other people that you should also join the community. So this light is spreading in those far off areas. From Mali, the missionary from there writes that 2 months ago a young man, he came to our station and he said that this is the only Ahmadiyya radio which is without music, and we like this listening, the young people like it. So this young person, and he was given the opportunity to do the program along with the Mullam. So he got interested in Ahmadiyyat, and after his study he was able to do the Bai'at. And after the Bai'at, and he started praying regularly, and during this Ramadan this year he saw in the dream that there is a light coming from sky which is coming from lower, and when he came close to him, and the voice was heard that the path that you have chosen, that is the path of truth, so never ever leave that. And then he continues to telling other people, and his faith increased, and now he dedicatedly is taking part in Jamaat activities and preaching. In Congo Kinshasa, the Mullam writes there that one person, Shaban, became Ahmadi. He says that I was from among Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat, and when the mission of the Jamaat opened, then our teachers told that the Ahmadis are non-believers. And then I listened a program about Islam from the Jamaat, and very beautifully the Islamic teaching was explained. But when during the program, when I heard the name Ahmadiyya, that all my interest went away. That these are the Ahmadis, and because the non-Ahmadis left that, but I was anyway impressed by that. So when I mentioned to other people, he also repeated the same, that the Ahmadis are kafir, non-believer and misguided people. He says that after a few days, when I heard the program again, all the things I liked very much, whatever was there, and finally I decided that what is harm in going to the mosque of the Ahmadis, and I don't have to follow the mullahs blindly. I said I will go on Jummah, and I will see myself. So after that, continuously several Fridays I offered in the Jamaat, in the mosque, and I saw the community from close quarter, and there was nothing which could, and after that I did the bath and joined the community. And Cameroon missionary in charge says that a few years back in Waikon city, some people from there, they joined the community, and the Imam of the mosque there, he also accepted Ahmadiyyat. And last year Imam Zakaria also accepted Ahmadiyyat, and along with him more than 100 people joined. Zakaria Sahib, Assasi area, he is the Imam of the mosque there, and Imam Jikan, the second son, Hakani Sahib, he is also an Ahmadi. In October 2007, and the leader found, and before the death he called the two the sons, that advised them that you have joined the community and people are opposing you, so ulama are saying ill about you. So remember that I have heard a lot of things in the hadith about the Imam Mahdi. All the signs have been fulfilled. So the Imam Mahdi and the Jamaat Ahmadiyya is right. Hold fast to it and continue to serve the community. And both the brothers are very active, and they actively preach the message of Ahmadiyya. This is the center, and the community is also increasing in their financial sacrifice. Imam Hussaini is also the Imam of the local community, and the late Imam has given a plot for the building of the mosque. There the mosque will be built. So those people who have got wisdom and knowledge, they know that these are the opposing efforts by these things. These are like the breaths which these people are trying to extinguish the light of Allah Almighty through that. But the light of Allah Almighty can never be extinguished. And with great steadfastness, these people are firm in Ahmadiyya, the true Islam, and these are the people who are worthy to be called the true leaders, religious leaders. And then after accepting Ahmadiyyat, how Allah Almighty strengthens the faith of the people and gives them the wisdoms and also teaching them the arguments. One example of that is in Tanzania, in Mwanza region, the missionary says that in Shianga region, the Jamaat was established in 2015, and many people was able to join the community, and a new convert joining the community, Juma Musanja Sahib, who is selling petty small things, and that's the means of his income. And he says that some of the small things which I went to small Arab areas there and told them that I have become Ahmadi, and now we have got a mosque where we offer the prayer. So these Arab people, they were very flared up, and they started abusing me, that you have not become Muslim, rather you have been misled by the Qadianis. So first we were without faith, and he said that those people who call themselves Ahmadi, they are not Muslim, they are kafir, non-believer. So if you do not cut your ties, then you with the Ahmadis, then don't come to us to sell your things. It was a big trial. He was a poor man. He said, I did not have enough knowledge that I could convince them with the intellectual arguments, but I asked them that for how many years you are here. And the Omani Arab said that we are here for last 80 years. And I said that in 80 years, that religion which you consider true, you have not been able to convey that to a small village which is 15 miles away. And now somebody, if they have brought the message, and you are telling them that they are non-believers. So the Arabs replied that we thought that you are not so worthy that you can accept Islam. So this is the state of the arrogance of these Arabs who consider themselves scholar. If the Holy Prophet ﷺ had been following the same principle, God forbid, so then the Bedouins of the Arabs, they would never have accepted Islam. It was the Holy Prophet ﷺ who who preached even these people who were living in jungles and deserts, just like the beast. He first turned them into and these people say that you are not worthy of that. And then they declare themselves to be as the custodian of Islam. And first they said that you become Muslim. So I told them that 80 years I have spent and you did not consider us worthy to talk to. And now these Ahmadis have come, they have converted us to Islam, and they have delivered us from the lack of religion. And if you wish that we Ahmadis we should leave Qadianiyat, then give us 80 years so that we can assess you that whether you are Muslims or not. So this is my argument, this is the reply he gave.
Islam Ahmadiyya, Hadhrat Muhammad Mustafa, Ghulam Ahmad ki, Ghulam Ahmad ki, Khalifatul Ahmadiyya, Hadhrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, Jamaat Ahmadiyya Alamgir, Nare Takbir.
Allah Ta'ala.
So in this way, Allah Almighty, totally irreligious people, Allah Almighty enabled them to become Muslims. And then a very strange type of arguments are taught to these people, which are quite convincing to those people, and there is no reply to those argumentation. From Senegal, our missionary writes that this year in Kolak region, in one village, Ribat Eskele, that was visited, and a Sabiq former Imam of this area, he did the bath in Munawwar Khurshid, former Amir, he did the bath, and there was a mosque there. Then because of the condition, the contact could not be made. The situation sometimes becomes worse, and one community, Al-Falah, they contacted, and when the mosque was built there, then the people of those people, they said to Imam Ba that if you want to remain the Imam of the mosque, then you have to leave the mosque. Otherwise, you cannot continue your Imamat in this mosque. Suleiman Basa, he said, no, I'm not going to leave Ahmadiyyat. He left Imamat rather, and he started offering the prayer with his family members in his house. And for last year, he is offering the prayer regularly with his family member. When he was asked that how can you were so steadfast and there was no contact with the Jamaat, he said, crying and weeping, that Allah Almighty gave me the knowledge when I have seen the light, so then how can I go back to the darkness? So Allah Almighty has given so pious people to the promised Messiah that these people say that they can finish the community. And even those people who are living in remote villages, even they cannot shake the faith of those people. So this is the type of people who are the true Muslims and have really the fear of Allah Almighty. Amir Sabghana writes that in one conference we invited the various imams who had accepted, and these imams said that if all the Muslims come to us against Ahmadiyya, that we will stand like a firm rock against them, because we are sure that in the light of Islam and in the light of the Quran, these people are true and right. Hadhrat Promised Messiah ﷺ says that only that person comes to me who has got the love with the truth and the honor of the righteous people, and those people who are right-minded, that they smell the fragrance of truth, and they feel the fragrance of truth which Allah Almighty has given me. And because of that attraction which Allah Almighty gives to His appointed people, so these people have come to me so attracted, just like the particles of metal come to the magnet. And those people who are not firmly established and those who are dead in spirituality, then they consider my things as strange. They are in trial and they deny and deny upon deny. and they are making worse the future life, and they don't take care that what is going to be their end. These people who oppose me, what benefit they are going to? So those people who opposed the true people before me, did they get any benefit? If those people opposing, they left the world destroyed, and because I say in the swearing in the name of Allah Almighty that I am true, that my denial is not going to give you the good fruits. So blessed as those who do not deny and they take care of their faith, and those who are of good opinion, and those who benefit from the company of the messengers of God. Allah Almighty does not leave them alone. And I say that for this recognition of a truth person, there is not difficult at all. Every person, if he is thinks wisely, then he can find out and analyze the claim, then his person is protected from stumbling. And those people who laugh at the signs of the God, then this guidance is not given to them. So the opponents, whatever effort they can do, they cannot extinguish the light of God Almighty. This community is destined to progress and flourish.
Islam Ahmadiyya, Islam Ahmadiyya, Hadhrat Muhammad Mustafa, Hadhrat Khatamul Anbiya, Mohsin Insaniyat, Ghulam Ahmad ki, Ghulam Ahmad ki, Khilafat Ahmadiyya, Khilafat Ahmadiyya, Hadhrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, Hadhrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, Nare Takbir.
Allah Ta'ala
Huzur says that Allah the Almighty with the promise, these signs of support with the promise, every hundreds, thousands of signs are shown every year, but still the opponents, they say that you are fool people and leave this who claims to be the Messiah. So actually fool are those people, are the so-called mullahs, those instead of having the fear of Allah Almighty, those from these, they fear these mullahs who have destroyed the religion. But we have to continue doing our job to show the right path to all the people. Every Ahmadi has to play his role and continue to do that. For this, do the effort and also pray. And more than everything else, the practical examples of your practical example, you spread the message of Islam. Just as the newcomers, I see few examples I have given you. Allah Almighty enable all the people to do like that. Allah Almighty give you all the blessings of the Jalsa Salana and enable you to partake from that, and you go home with safety, and in future as well participate in the future Jalsa, and there should be peace and tranquility in your homes, and you should be happy from your children, and Allah Almighty deliver you from all worries and difficulties. Now please join in prayer.